Now, the first 6 New York wins in this postseason came by a total of 32 points. They lost Game 4 against Indiana by 32. The Pacers took them, as some would say, to the woodshed. Tuesday night brought Game 5 in a series tied at 2, this one at the Garden. And we learned that the world's most famous arena has a woodshed too. Let's check out the highlights from Game 5. Great thing about the playoffs and great time of the year when you're down to this many teams and you have these stars in different places showing you, like tonight, Vince, there's a couple different ways you can get 40 in a game. You saw it from Joker, you saw it from Brunson at the Garden.
And I think that was the response. That's what your superstar's supposed to do, particularly when you're going back home. I'm going to put my best foot forward. Yes, I'm going to get guys involved, but at this point, Jalen Brunson said, no, I got this.
Excuse me.
I need to, it's my response now. Halliburton had the big game, now I'm going to have the big game. I came in the era where, as a guard, we had to post up. Absolutely. And you're seeing that from a smaller guy, and he throws his weight around as he needs to. But like you said, he's deceptively quick, so he could give you a little bit of both, which makes him tough to guard.
Yeah, Ernie, if you see Jalen Brunson walk into a room, you wouldn't think he's the basketball player. You might say he's a football player. You might say something else, but you wouldn't think he's not the prototypical body type of a basketball player. So his ability to elude, to be shifty, to be quicker than the guys who are built like a basketball player that's what even makes it more impressive. Because guys who are much more athletic, he said something, I heard him say something the other night. He said, I had to learn to play against guys who and at a pace because I wasn't the most athletic and had to figure out how to use that against them. And so that's what happened tonight. He used the athleticism. The fact that you're going to jump over the pick, oh, I'm going back. So he used the athleticism against them, the guys who are more athletic.
This didn't look like a New York Knicks team that was tired.
No, they didn't look tired at all. They came out, they showed up. They've made all of us that said the minutes were a problem.
No, but he played Alex Burks. He played McBride. He played Achua.
He basically played 7 again, though.
Yeah, but he played a different 7.
Feel when you come home.
And it's not the same 7.
And he put Deuce McBride in the starting lineup.
Right. He didn't play the same. And Ernie, we're not saying you can't win games, and I'm not saying, rather, you can't win games. I'm not saying you're making bad coaching decisions because the first thing I said about the Knicks when it started, they have a style of play that's going to be difficult. I wear the orange proudly. And
when they win.
When they win.
Yes, you do.
However,
why don't you have it on now?
Well, I was just,
you forgot about it.
I did forget about it. But no, seriously, but I think, like I heard Coach said at halftime, he kind of ranted about people saying that they shouldn't play. Yeah, and he put the minutes that Vince played, and that's not people don't play multiple guys that much. It's just a fact, and it's not. It's like if you're going to win, you have to understand that at some time you have to. The same way they say the great players have to trust their teammates, the great coaches have to trust their bench. That's just it. That's it. You have to trust. At some point, you're going to have to trust Alec Burks, McBride, and everyone else. You're going to have to when who's your now your great 3-year guy, 4-year guy.
Kuminga.
Eventually, you got to trust him. Like you can't just keep him on the bench and hoping that he's going to learn. And that's what championship teams do. That's all. You eventually got to trust.
You're the face of a team, and you've been the face of a team. And you're having a sit-down conversation with Tyrese Halliburton right now about this series going back to his gym in Indiana and about trying to force a Game 7 in this series. What are you telling him?
As a teammate, and I'm a veteran in that locker room, the first thing I would say to him, you ready to go home? And I feel like that should set the tone right there. You know what you have to do as a superstar. And yes, he's great. He's a great facilitator, but 5 of 9 after what the performance you have on the road when you need to lead your team, it can't happen. So I think he needs to be ultra aggressive, but at the same time, that means getting in the paint, whether the shot there, now making plays. But I just thought and you said it earlier, that he gets passive on the road, particularly in the Garden a little bit. It can't happen. So I think, like Jalen Brunson set the tone in the first 5 minutes, that needs to now be Tyrese Halliburton.
I'm going to take this another step forward with Tyrese Halliburton. You have to come out and compete at a level that says I want to move on. And that's just not the offensive end. That's on the defensive end. When you come out and you hedge on the screen and you just slap behind the guy and the guy turn the corner, that is setting a tone for the team because you're the guy. We're not asking you to come out and be Patrick Beverly. We're not asking you to come out and be Andrew Nimhard. We're asking you to come out and give an honest effort and compete. And when you slap and you stop on the defensive end and you just give up, you're letting the other guys down. Those are the same guys that you need as a star to run through a brick wall for you. Right. And if you take the easy way out on the defensive end every chance you get, those guys that you need to run through a brick wall ain't running through that brick wall, and you're going to be on your way home. So he has to come out and compete on both ends of the floor like his life depended on it. Not be locked down, just show some effort so that then the help can get there and help you.
The Pacers follow up a 32-point win with a 30-point loss and now trail in the series 3-2. They will be back in their place at the Fieldhouse on Friday night trying to tie this series and send it back to the Garden for a Game 7. Hey, opening night of the W. We got highlights, Caitlin Clark's debut, and the Aces.